Hey guys, welcome back to the Vid-Bits. I'm Bray, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace an old battery out of a Game Boy or Game Boy Color game. And the same logic essentially applies to a Game Boy Advance game as well, though it takes a different battery. This one I did as a little test. Not the cleanest soldering work, I will admit, but we're just going to pop it back together. That kind of just shows you what the inside looks like right off the gate. And there's only a couple tools you're going to need. You're going to need a soldering iron. You're going to need pliers or some sort of pry bar. Come on. As well as, here, I'm going to have to pop this back in. It's kind of warped. This copy in particular actually was run over. It was my cousin's copy growing up. And it was run over in the street, and I remember trading him something for it. I don't remember what it was. I think it was either a newer game or some Pokemon cards or something of that nature. But I've just popped that back together, and we've got a couple games that I need to fix. I think today we're going to fix this copy of Pokemon Gold, which has the same problem as usual, is just not saving by any means. I can actually show you guys what I mean by that. I'll pop it in the Game Boy Advance here. Oh, it actually needs to be blown on. Yep, did the trick. New game, and I actually was just playing this not too long ago, and it just decided not to save. Just gonna go through all of the options. Got the cute little Meryl there. I guess I'll turn the volume down. But yep, this is a very common problem with Game Boy Color games, and Game Boy Advance games, because as the years go on, you unfortunately lose the ability to save your game, so we're just going to hit save. Yes. Saving, don't turn off the power. So the game's been saved. I'll turn the game off. I'll pop the game out. And typically it occurs after letting it sit, but I think that this battery is so dead that if we even just immediately pop the game back on, we'll see there's no save. So that's the issue we're fixing here. I'm gonna set the Game Boy aside. We set the old battery for the other game aside, and you're gonna need some solder, a soldering iron. Here, let me actually clean this soldering iron off a bit. As well as something to either pry or pull the battery off with. So, oh, and a screwdriver to get the bit off. I think this is a 2.5 millimeter bit. I could be wrong. I'm not the best with remembering the size of those kind of tool specifications and stuff, but slides off quite easily. And the easiest way for you to tell if you have an authentic copy is it will look like this. Well, this is a gold, so this is the year 2000. It'll have a little Nintendo brand on there. So that is a real copy of Pokemon Gold, which actually has already had a battery replaced. So we're just going to set the insides aside and just take a little look. That's what we're working with inside there. And essentially, though I would recommend you have flux, today I do not, but this solder does have flux in it. What we're going to do is we're going to take our soldering iron and our solder, and you're going to add a new layer on top of the old stuff. Make sure it's all combined there. And the reason you do this is because that old solder might be a little tricky to get up because of how long it's been there. So adding a little bit of new stuff kind of wakes it up a little bit. So then once we've added the new solder, we're going to either get a pry bar or pliers or tweezers, and then you're just going to add a little bit. Oh, unfortunately we had a little bit of splash there. I was putting a little too much pressure on the battery, and then while it's hot, you can just take it off. Oh, that's unfortunate. You don't need that going off the side there. Let me quickly clean up this little mess I've made. All right. Make sure we haven't gotten solder on any other components on the board. We seem to be doing all right. Let's set our pry bar aside. Got our old battery. Got an identical new battery. We want to put it in just like it was put in, so we took it out like this. As you can see, the plus side is up. Same deal here. Nope, this is one I took out. Never mind, I did a couple test videos. Glad I double checked that. This is the one we're replacing it with. So pretty much the same process here. We're gonna put it right on top of that spot, lining both of these up just like so. And we actually are gonna go, oh, knocked the camera a bit. Oh no, you get to see my vitamins. Recording this at the kitchen table because I don't really seem to have much of a better spot. Okay. So we're gonna secure this one here first, adding just a bit more solder right on top. Okay. The soldering iron decided it wanted to eat it. Oh shit. All right. Let's warm all the solder up. There's the flux in the solder kicking in. You can see because it looks almost greasy or wet. Add a little bit on top. Line it up a little better. And I actually will clean up this connection over here. Just a bit. Just because the solder doesn't look that great. But after that, you will have your new battery resting right in place. Then you'll be able to grab your inside components and slide them right in their casing very easily. Give this a second to cool off before popping it right back in your Game Boy. Don't want it to overheat or have some sort of problem. Come on now. This little screw is not wanting to go in this screw head, or this screwdriver head. Then I'm just gonna screw it right back in place like so. Very nice. And we've got our completely fixed up copy of Gold. Seems like it's cooled off a little bit, so pop it back in the old Game Boy. Turn it on. Looks like it needs a blow. Always works, every time. Every time. So we're gonna just do the same thing as before. Pop right back into that game. Just gonna go through the options as quick as possible. Not wasting any time for you. Talk to our boy Professor Oak again. There's that cute little Meryl. I know, we don't know everything about Pokemon yet. It's crazy. It's like the ocean or space. And we're gonna shrink our little guy down and see if it worked. So we're gonna save. Would you like to save the game? Yes. Saving shortly. And we're gonna pop the game off. We're gonna pop it back on. And like magic, our save game is there. Fixing one of the most troublesome problems that a Nintendo fan or a Game Boy fan can ever face, which is a game that is no longer working, and such an easy fix as well. So I suggest if you have some Game Boy or Game Boy Color games or Game Boy Advance games that are not working, go ahead and replace those batteries. These are pretty cheap. I got a 10-pack for $10, so about $1 a piece, and it wasn't that difficult of a fix. So if you want to see more content like this, more fixes, more troubleshooting videos, please let me know down in the comments. It took 3 attempts to record this. I actually fixed up this copy of Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Yellow as well, but this is the one that came out the cleanest. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Be on the lookout for Game of Day May as that starts next month. And yeah, it's been Bray from the Vid-Bits. See you guys in the next one. Peace.